I don't know if my face is centered, but... Hello everyone, it's Dominic here. I haven't been posting very much on YouTube because I have been undergoing a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety.
One face centered.
And a lot of other things that, there's a lot of things that go on. And you're going to hear a lot of voiceover telling you one face centered. However, I don't know if it's centered or not. Shortly, there will be a part 2 of me doing chores. But I kind of wanted to put this out there because people need to know...
One face centered.
Why people need to... I got a call recently about, people want to know, and hang on. Who is here?
One face centered.
Okay, I am confused. So, I'm actually kind of confused because I feel like someone's here. But I wanted to put this out there.
One face centered.
So, people asked me recently, what is it like to, what is it like to be blind and have to walk around the mall trying to find
one face centered.
the food court? Because me and this guy were talking recently about the mall and the food court and everything. And he goes, well, what's it like walking around the food court being blind and hearing impaired? I said, it depends. So basically it depends. If someone's with you,
one face centered,
and you're walking and they tell you, oh, the food court's this way, like in front of you, then you know that the food court is in front of you just by feedback, like by people telling you. Now, if you're alone and you smell the food court, then you know where the food court is.
One face centered.
You know that the food court is somewhere around you, like in front of you, to the left or to the right, because you have that sense of smell. But in the mall where I was, the food court was actually a straight shot. It was a long ways, but it was a straight shot to the food court, to like the restaurants and everything. So a lot of the times you're going to see or hear canes moving. And I didn't post this because I was doing training and I didn't have, I didn't want to post at that time. But you could hear the canes moving. And it wasn't all, it was not all blind people. It was people that were...
one face centered.
Some people were blind and some people, some people are blind. But other people were blindfolded. So they were blindfolded to see what it is like to actually not see. And
One face centered.
so that is what it's like not being able to see, is you don't know where everything is until you ask someone, or until you see, like until you go to an object, walk up the cane, and you go to an object, you walk the cane up, and you look at it closely.
One face centered.
And you see, oh, it could be a box. It could be a doorway. And you have to really check. And this is something that I have a hard time with, is I don't really check. I just search one area and just go. You know, I will admit that.
One face centered.
But I have learned you have to check all areas. You have to process the information that your cane is telling you. And you have to see where you'll end up.
One face centered.
And a lot of the times, where you end up, it could be anywhere around this state. And you're in a store and you want to go buy something, but you don't know what that object is. You want to go find something to buy, and you go and you hit an object, you don't know what it is.
One face centered.
Walk the cane up. Check it out. Don't do what I do and give up. And I'm also trying to work on that. Or if it's to your right, you can simply just ignore it and walk around it. But if it's in front of you, walk the cane up. See what it is. You may have to feel with your hands, because sometimes
one face centered.
you don't know what it is. And so yeah, you have to be able and willing to actually search and not give up. And that's something that
one face centered.
That's something that everybody has to do if they're blind or hearing, if they're blind or deaf. Or deaf blind, you know. If they're deaf blind, that's something that we have to do. Deaf blindness is not a deterrent.
One face centered.
Deaf blindness is not a deterrent. Deaf blindness is encouraging others. You know, see, what am I trying to say? Deaf blindness is not a deterrent or a disability to me. It is actually a different ability and a different way to handle things.
One face centered.
So being deafblind, it's so hard to do things, but we can do it. And I always preach this, but I don't follow through, and that is something that I will admit, and that is something that I will work on even harder, is that I preach it and I don't follow through it immediately. I
one
just
face centered.
follow through it after a few days, and I should be following through it every day. And you know, we're not all, you know, I don't expect people to be perfect anymore. I used to. But Are we all perfect?
One face centered.
We're not all perfect. We're all human. We're not robots. Humans make mistakes. Humans learn from their mistakes. One thing that I really didn't like is when people would yell at me for my mistakes, and they didn't like that I made a mistake.
10 minutes. Stop recording video. 10 minutes. 40 seconds. Stop recording video. Button.
They did not like that I would fail, but, you know, now where I am, I'm able to make a mistake and learn from it. Make a mistake and learn from it. Because learning is key.
One face centered.
And the thing is, I want to show you sometime how to change a tip. I have to find out what I need to get the phone so that I can see the room.
One face centered.
Because I want to be able to show you without holding my phone and without having to you know, struggle how to change a cane tip, how to cook, how to clean. And for some people, you may not be able to see me.
One face centered.
But that's okay because I can describe for those that both can see and can't see.
Near top edge.
Oh, hold on.
Centered. Near top edge.
No.
Centered.
There we go. I will describe the room for people that both
one face centered.
Can see and cannot see.
Near top edge.
Stop.
Centered.
There. And I will, you know, try to do my best at describing more and more and more. I don't know. Please leave in the comments how much do I describe, because I don't describe very
one
much.
Face centered.
I know that. I don't describe things very much, and I really know that now because I listen to my videos, but you know, I don't like to sometimes over describe things because I don't want people to say, you know, oh, you're talking too much, or oh, this and oh,
one
that.
One face centered.
But also, I want to describe everything to its fullest because I want people to know and I want people to see what it's like being blind and hearing impaired. And I would like people to know and see how people can do things with audio descriptions, how people can watch movies with audio descriptions.
One face centered.
On a lot of things. There are people out there that don't understand that a blind person needs audio descriptions. However, if the blind person is also deaf, you know, they have to figure out how they can get their descriptions. And that's okay.
One face centered.
That is okay. If you don't have audio descriptions, could there be a such thing as a braille description of what people are doing? Can it show up on a braille display? What you're watching, what you're seeing, and people describing it caption by caption what they're doing. the words on the screen will need to be captions.
One face centered.
Like, they'll need to be captioned on a braille display for people who are deafblind. And that is okay. That is A-okay. Because captions are accommodating. Hold on, I need to take a sip of Pepsi.
One face near bottom edge. Centered.
Yeah, captions are accommodating. Captions are helpful. They describe everything in a more positive way. And they...
One face centered.
They don't, you reading the caption, you know what's going on. And that is why I challenge people to use their captions if they have them. Use their captions if they have them. If you're blind and you need braille captions, that's okay. If you're sighted and you need print captions on the screen,
one face centered,
that is just fine. Or if you're using voice captions on your phone, that is okay. If you're using, if an interpreter is right near you, that's another form of captioning. It's just a human caption, it's a human signing to you, in your hand, or like, if you could see it, it's a human signing to you. You don't have to worry about...
One face centered.
You don't have to worry about anything when it comes to captions. Now, some technology may not work, so that's why I always mention interpreters. Because interpreters can interpret what people say. Now, I don't know very much. I mean, I know a lot of sign, but I don't know all of the sign language. That's why I sometimes, require an interpreter
one face centered
to sign to the person what I'm trying to say, and then that interpreter interprets what that other person is signing to me. So, this video basically is telling you, I guess with the title...
One face centered.
I guess this title should be, why are captions important? Captions are important for people who are deafblind or just deaf. Because how are we supposed to get around in this world, communication-wise, if we don't have captions? How are we supposed to get around in this world if we don't have captions? We can't. How are we going to get around in this world communication-wise if we are not signing to one another? And we're just talking, but we can't hear them. We can't. That's why there's sign language. That's why there's captions. Because a lot of the time it's...
One face centered.
It's always important that you use your technology, or that you use your sign language skills. If you use those, you're gonna accomplish a lot of things. If you don't, you're not gonna accomplish a lot of things. So that basically sums up the whole video of, and the beginning part didn't, talk about captions, but, it's okay. You know, being deafblind is hard, but
One face centered.
we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. We can do it through communicating, whether it's by captions or by sign language. And we can make it around a store, deafblind or not. All you have to do is not give up, walk up the cane, see what you can
One
find.
face centered.
If you cannot hear it all, that's okay, you know, because there's other things you can feel by vibration of where things are at. And that's okay. Vibrations are always good. Then you know what things are doing, what you're doing with things.
One face centered.
You know how things are. Things will be things. We just gotta accomplish them. Goals will be goals. We just got to accomplish them. How? By achieving it, by doing it. I want to leave this video and I want to close
One
with
face
this.
centered.
I was at a restaurant ordering my food. And the lady said, would you like a drink with your food? At first I thought she said,
Near top edge.
hold on, I don't have
Centered.
At first I thought she said, would you like something pink with that? I said, no, I don't want anything.
One face centered.
I said, no, I don't want anything pink. And she goes, no. Do you want a drink with that? And I said, no, thank you. So, you know, that just shows that it just shows that it just
One
shows
face centered.
that you need to, if you can't hear something, ask for clarification. If you think you misheard something, ask for clarification. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. And this is why I use, this is why I say this. Captions are important. Sign language is important.
One face centered.
It is especially important in a restaurant to use captions or sign language, because you're not going to be able to hear everything that the waitress or waiter is saying. So that is that. I hope you guys have a very good night or day wherever you are. Stay safe out there.
One face centered.
Stay blessed. And please look out for my next video. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want, you can tell other people about my channel. And hit that subscribe button. It's always there. It's free. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna jump out at you and pounce and hit you in the face.
One face centered.
But it's gonna be there so that you know that you can get notifications on my newest updates, on my latest videos, and yeah. I'll see you guys on the next video.
Near bottom edge. Take picture. Stop recording.